Hello friend, I would like to inform you that when God gives us a purpose, He also gives conditions that we must adhere to in order to guarantee its fulfillment. Whenever you break any covenant or commandment of God, you make yourself vulnerable to the devil. The story of Samson shows us the purpose of God for him, the command given to his mother over his life, and how the mighty man ended up. The parents of Samson were without a child until an angel of God came to his mother telling her the verdict of God and the conditions attached to his birth. The book of Judges chapter 13 verses 3-4 says, "The angel of the Lord appeared to her and said, 'You are barren and childless, but you are going to become pregnant and give birth to a son. Now see to it that you drink no wine or other fermented drinks, and that you do not eat anything unclean.'" These two verses explain that Samson was not like any other child who was born without the visitation of God through an angel. Children born through these means always have a clear purpose on earth and for humanity. The mother of Samson was told never to defile herself by taking any unclean thing or wine due to the destiny of the child she was about to birth forth. Moving on, you may ask, what is the purpose of this male child? Judges chapter 13 and verse 5 describes it. It says, "You will become pregnant and have a son whose head is never to be touched by a razor, because the boy is to be a Nazirite, dedicated to God from the womb. He will take the lead in delivering Israel from the hands of the Philistines." The angel of God just revealed the destiny of Samson. Listen friends, the knowledge of your purpose on earth cancels confusions in your life. The reason why you try out many career opportunities, talents, businesses without conviction is because there is no knowledge and clarity of your purpose. I understand that the purpose of a child might not be revealed through an angelic encounter, but the prayer of inquiry will do a lot for you. Ask the Lord who formed you and He will direct your path. Moving on, Samson was born, and according to the Bible, Judges chapter 13 and verse 25, "And the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him while he was in Mahaneh-dan between Zorah and Eshtaol." Immediately Samson was born, the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him, leading him to places God wanted to cause deliverance for Israel. The first place where Samson's might was displayed was when he came across a lion. This verse tells us what happened. Judges chapter 14 and verse 6, which says, "The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, so that he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. But he told neither his father nor his mother." What a might! The strength of a man and the boldness to tear a lion with bare hands. That strength cannot be ordinary, it is divine. Despite the prowess of Samson in tearing the lion, that was not the purpose of his strength. As we go on, we will see the exploits done through Samson. Remember, his purpose was to save the Israelites from their enemies. Samson saw a young Philistine lady and desired to marry her, which his parents opposed. Obviously, those were the enemies of Israel, but the Bible gave a striking point there. In Judges chapter 14 and verse 4, it says, "His parents did not know that this was from the Lord, who was seeking an occasion to confront the Philistines, for at that time they were ruling over Israel." The same spirit that enabled him kill a lion also stirred him towards the Philistines, because God wanted to confront the enemies of Israel. This can be similar to the case of someone in our time. When the Lord is dragging you towards a particular challenge, you may have been avoiding sickness, but the Lord allowed it in order to showcase His awesome healing power in your life and to bring others to the full knowledge of the God in your life. Dear friend, in all things, know the mind of God. Ask Him the reason for a setback. Seek to know why He allowed certain ugly situations to play around you. God might be trying to birth forth the gifts inside of you. The reason for a gift is to remedy a situation. The next exploit of Samson, as documented in the Bible, was he struck down 1,000 Philistine men. This was an awesome victory. Samson was tied with new ropes and handed to the Philistines by the men of Judah. As soon as the Philistines rushed at him, the next experience is described in Judges chapter 15 verse 15. It says, "Finding a fresh jawbone of a donkey, he grabbed it and struck down 1,000 men." Imagine the might of a man that killed 1,000 men. An ordinary soldier today cannot take down 500 men with a weapon. Talk more of shooting down 1,000 men. The might of Samson was used to display the deliverance of God over the Israelites. The sign that the Lord chose Samson as the judge of Israel was seen when the Lord opened a spring of water for Samson after he defeated the Philistines. That was a miracle. God was truly with Samson. One weakness of this great man was the lust of the flesh, the lust after women. Samson could not control his lust after women, that he went in with a prostitute at Gaza. Despite being ambushed, he took the city gate from its foundation, hanging it on his shoulders. I know that was an express show of his divine might and strength, but I would like to draw your attention to this. Never use the grace, blessing, or gift of God upon your life to sin. Yes, Samson sinned right there, but still used his might to escape being killed. There are times when you abuse the grace of God on your life. Instead of blessing lives, you destroy lives. God cannot be happy with you. As a man of God, if you use the gift of prophecy to extort money or take advantage of people, that's a sinful act. Let the gift of God be used for a positive purpose. If you take advantage of ladies at college because you help them with a math assignment, you have derailed from God's plan. Imagine yourself without that divine endowment. What will life look like to you? Moving on to the last phase of Samson's reign. The love of women led Samson again to a woman called Delilah at the valley of Sorek. The Philistines also observed that women is part of the weakness of this mighty man of valor. Hence, they negotiated with this newfound love over the secret of Samson's strength. Judges chapter 16 verse 5 says, the rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, if you can lure him into showing you the secret of his great strength and how we can overpower him, each of us will give 1,100 shekels of silver. That was the price for the secret of Samson's strength. The devil can go to any length to bring down anyone God has chosen to lead his people. Samson tried to hide the secret of his strength. He gave a false answer to Delilah 3 times. The 4th time, she disturbed him until he spoke out of vain love for her, revealing what should be kept secret. I believe heaven was silent and surprised at his foolish decision. Oh, how he wished he had thought to himself, who will save the people of Israel? Have I finished my purpose on earth? Will my action bring glory to God? What will be said of a man that killed 1,000 men and is now seized by his enemies? But Samson never thought of all this. He was blinded by the love of a woman who had already sold him off. What a pity. Once the 7 locks on Samson's head was shaved, he lost his strength and the Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes. Then they had a great celebration to their god Dagon, who delivered Samson to them. Samson was made to entertain them, a mighty warrior. That was mockery, having led Israel for 20 years. Samson never gave up even at the point of disgrace. He prayed this time, which is something that you must do no matter how far you have gone, and his strength was restored. Samson pushed the pillars of the temple and killed more people than he did while alive. He died with his enemies. Beloved, be mindful of your weaknesses. Whatever can cost you your life and purpose should be avoided. I know Samson died killing more Philistines, but he would have died an honorable death if he had worked on his weakness. The Lord is the giver of gifts, talents, and all blessings, and he also gives the grace to dominate our weaknesses. Friends, every great man has a weakness that can pull down his gifting. Your deliberate effort to rise above that weakness determines how well you will end. Don't allow your weakness swallow your greatness. Rather, swallow your weakness by the grace of God. If this video has blessed you, please like, subscribe, and share with someone.